So you would go in order. You get 2 weeks, then you, when the 2 gets picks his 2 weeks, and it was limited to the number. Got a little crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just these?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I didn't know anything about that.
Yes, okay.
That's fine.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. If we could have a roll call, please.
Morris, Cole,
Here.
Edwards,
Here.
Here. Here.
Passanello, Shannon.
Great. All right, well, we want to thank everybody for coming this evening. It's going to be an exciting night, so if you, should be a short meeting, but stick around till all the way through the end, because we'll have some presentations and stuff like that. But first order, if we have Will Engelman with Troop 91 that's going to come up here and actually lead us for our Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could remain standing, and we have Pastor Ruth Ann Sawyer to be able to lead us in invocation. Thank you.
Let's bow together. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the privilege and honor to come before you tonight as powers of authority of this wonderful town of Haymarket. Father, we thank you for this community. We thank you for its leaders and for its residents and for the volunteers which we will honor tonight for their service to Haymarket. Father, we ask you to be with the decisions handed down tonight and allow everything that is in your glory to be respectful and honorable to you tonight, whether positive or negative or good or bad. Heavenly Father, we give this next hour or so to you during this meeting, and we ask that everything that is done and said within these 4 walls, Father, be done to your glory. We give this time to you. It is in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Great. All right. And thank you, Will, for leading us there. Our next order is our minutes for approval. We'll take them all or collectively. November 27th, December 4th, and December 18th.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve our work session meeting minutes from November 27th, 2017, regular meeting December 4th, 2017, and special meeting December 18th, 2017.
Second.
Motion been seconded by Councilwoman Edwards. Discussion on the motion? Let's go roll call vote, please.
Morris, Cole,
Here, yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Lee, Passanello,
All right.
Shannon.
Yes.
All right, great. All right. Our next item is our citizens' time, our chance to hear from our citizens. Anything you would like to say, if you just could come up to the podium and state your name and your address just for the record, and the mic is for you to speak.
Peter Baker. I'm the board member of Serve Our Willing Warriors. I'm here tonight to get your money. It may not be personally your money, and it's not the town's money. It's the money that was donated during the Christmas day. There's going to be a check presentation, I think, tonight, which I appreciate it, and our treasurer, but last year we had a bag full of pennies and quarters and dollars, and so we appreciate the check. But we all want to take this time just to tell you, for those who are familiar with SO, I appreciate that you took the interest in it. And for those who aren't, I want to just take this few minutes to tell you the charity here that is in our town that is serving so many people, that is those who are recovering from their wounds, illness, and injuries at Walter Reed or Fort Belvoir. And we reached out to Quantico now. These are active duty members who are overseas and eventually here right in the U.S. who are suffering. And they could be there at Walter Reed or Belvoir for various injuries. Some are shown, some are physical, some are not. And we offer them a respite for a week, all free. Because of the donation, part of the donations tonight will go to that. And this is in a 11,000 square foot house. I have a video here. Larry is going to show this momentarily. To also talk to you about our needs to help these warriors. This is a charity that really serves 2 purposes, I found out. One, it is for our guests, our veterans, our active duty. But really, it's another charity that serves our community. It allows people to connect with others who are in time of need. And this is a very simple need. It's just a timeout. They may be in a hospital for 4 months, 5 months, 5 years, recovering from the illnesses, injuries, or wounds. And it's very much of a tedious task to recover. So they come here, they spend a week, they bring their family, they may bring their parents, grandparents, their battle buddies. It's a time for them to reconnect to a social network. It's very important. We don't offer anything medical, but it's a respite. I don't want to take up too much more time, but we have a film here that I think very well describes it. I do welcome any questions you have, but I won't leave without a check.
Good evening. Thank you. It's been probably about a year since I was last here to fill you in on the status of the retreat and give you a little bit of information. We've had quite a year. I got a promotion. I'm now the Director of Culinary Services, which means I still do the dishes when the chefs come out on Sunday night. But we also have expanded our visiting chef program. We now have 50 volunteer chefs, including the chef for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and about 10 military chefs. We have a Bakers on Call program that now includes 40 home bakers that provide the Warriors' favorite dessert when they check in on Friday morning. To bring you up to speed on what we've been doing at the retreat, as many of you may know, we received a $300,000 grant from Penn Fed Foundation, and we'll be beginning construction on a second home on the property. And we're really excited about that because it will enable us to double the capacity. So right now we do about 38 guest stays a year, 38 to 40, and this is going to double that. So we're really excited. It'll be a smaller house, about 3,500 square feet, and we'll still have 5 bedrooms. So we hope to fill it with 10 family members or warriors and double our capacity. Just to give you an idea of who's been coming to the retreat, starting tomorrow, the family will check in. It's a warrior, his wife, and 5 children under the age of 10. And the staging team has been in the retreat, setting up the toys and getting everything ready for the kids. That will be guest stay number 84 since we opened. We've had 225 warriors stay with us, and with their families and friends, that's a total of 623 who have come to the retreat since we've been open. Of that total, we consistently run about 15% of our warrior guests are female, and which was a surprise to us, but we do welcome them. 7% of our guests are veterans. So there are occasions where we do have veterans come and stay with us, but usually they are people warriors who just medically retired. And when they came in contact with us, since there is some time a waiting period, they were in the hospital system, but they since medically retired, and we still want them to stay with us. 39% of our guests are Army. That is the largest percentage. Army, then Marines, then Navy, and Air Force and Coast Guard. Of our guests, 67% are combat wounded. 100% of those who are combat wounded have PTS. About 9% have traumatic brain injury, and only 4%, fortunately, as a testament to the medical treatment that they get, only 4% of our guests are amputees. 77% of our guests are families. Only 1% of our guests are single warriors. So we do put an emphasis on trying to attract families and make it a respite and a place for families to get together, because it is a journey that the family takes with the warrior, and they are just as affected as the warrior. So we encourage families to come. We've had families come from as far away as Saskatchewan, Canada, and China recently. We had a warrior's parents come from China. Today was a very exciting day for us. Thursdays are when we have our guest state coordinator meetings, and that gets us ready for the check-in on Friday, and then we discuss the guests that are coming up. But today, we were joined by a new volunteer, Angie, who just medically retired from the Air Force and had been a guest at the retreat. So we're excited to have her as a guest state coordinator. We're going to need volunteers. We're going to double our capacity, and at times we're stretched thin as it is. So we always need money. There's no doubt about that. But we really are going to need the town's help in getting the word out that we need volunteers. When you volunteer at the retreat, I can guarantee you three things. You'll get more out of it than you give. If your life needs a purpose, it will give you a purpose. And you will make an impact on the family that is just unbelievable. So I did want to show a little video to give you an idea of the impact that the retreat has on the warriors and their family.
I was about to brag on our chief with his technical skills, but Mr. Mayor, if I could make a comment while the chief is working this. I can tell you, serving this nation for 37 years, 22 in uniform, being a combat veteran, I appreciate what you do out there. I've been very much involved with Boulder Crest Retreat. I'm sure you're aware of Boulder Crest Retreat. I'll be getting out more to see you and volunteering some time as well. I've seen the results of what this type of therapy can do to my fellow vets, and especially those serving with PTS. And what you do is amazing. It is truly amazing. And I'm just thankful that whoever took the lead to develop this program here, I commend them. I commend all of y'all for doing what you do. It does make a difference. So thank you very much from this veteran for what you do.
Yeah. And Larry, from the
I served 14 years in the Army, did 3 deployments. It was pretty tough because you didn't know if you were going to get blowed up or not. You didn't know if that mission you were going to go on was going to be your last. Sustained it, my one big injury was when we were supporting a Special Forces unit. That's when one of the trucks to the rear got hit on an ID, and that's when I ended up getting my head injury, where I basically slammed up against the top of the roof of the vehicle real hard, and it felt like a sword shoved through me, like down my spine. It was the worst feeling I ever had. And then I noticed my legs were starting to go numb, and that was scaring me. By the time I got to Belvoir, things were just starting to go downhill for me. Only time I really remember one moment at Belvoir was I felt like I was at death's door.
So I packed a suitcase, a couple changes of clothes for me, and said I was going to be home in about, weeks, 2 weeks tops. I didn't go home for over a year. I lost my job. They terminated me because I couldn't tell when I was going to come back. I get down to Fort Belvoir, and I was super excited, and the look on his face was blank. And I was like, there's something wrong. Maybe it's just jet lag, But so my giddiness went to a meet, and my heart just went, I'm like, there's something wrong. But I tried to chalk it up again to jet lag. I only had what he was telling me. So we went to go see his primary care the next day. Within the first 5 minutes, the eye doctor was like, oh my God, you've got a brain injury. And I was like, what? She's like, oh, no doubt about it. Just your vision alone, you have got a brain injury. So everything that I had been noticing started to tie in at that point in time. Turns out he has almost zero depth perception. He has double vision individually in each eye and no peripheral vision. So the man was basically a walking blind man. But he couldn't tell us because he didn't know the words anymore. Because as this is going on, he's deteriorating. He's losing his words. He's eventually diagnosed with a compound traumatic brain injury. And that's because he had had so many undiagnosed and untreated brain injuries when he was in Iraq. Because quite frankly, when you're there, this is what I've been told by multiple service members, if you have all your parts and you're not bleeding out, you dust it off, you shake it off, and you move on because there's somebody else who's worse off than you. The combination of everything just got to be too much for him, and he became suicidal. And what do you do when your spouse is suicidal? You hang on as tight as you can, and you get as much support as you can. Everything lined up perfectly for when John was struggling at his absolute worst. And he pitched a fit. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And he was pitching, he was, 6 hours late the first day because he couldn't get out of bed. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. And then he didn't want to leave. Because once we get here and you have this gorgeous, serene location, it was just what the good doctor ordered. So has been sowing their seeds of love in our life, that's for sure, and happiness. And it's really made a difference for us, absolutely. It was just what we needed, when we needed it. And I just can't thank so enough. Phenomenal. And right down to the founder comes in. She knocks on the door like she's a guest in your home. And you invite her in, and she acts like a guest in your home. This is her house. This is So's house. But while you're here, it's your home. And how can you not appreciate or love something like that? You feel like it's home. It's just, we didn't want to leave. Everybody was wonderful. Everybody is wonderful. And they care, and they check up on you.
The treatment for me was, it was awesome. I was going through a really hard time. I don't like to say it, but I just had the thoughts of where I just didn't want to go on anymore. I didn't care. I tell you what, I was really glad I went because it really got me through a really bad point in my life. I got to go on a helicopter ride. I can't forget that. I love that. That helicopter ride was awesome. It did save my life because I was going downhill fast. And this is what I needed. And that's what saved me. This is what saved me. And it just really did. And I can't thank y'all and the staff, how great y'all were, and everybody, and how great this place was, and how everybody that pitched in was awesome. Awesome. Thank y'all.
So that was Sergeant John Meadows and his wife Melissa. And if you're interested in following his wife Melissa on social media, her handle is Love Muffins Better Half. Unfortunately, that's not an uncommon occurrence. We get a lot of warriors that come
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We get a lot of warriors that come to us that are in very dark place. And we've identified 7 warriors who have expressed to us that they were in such a dark place that they had considered suicide, but coming to the retreat really did help them. And we do call our guest stays our Into the Light program, because it's really all about bringing them, if we can, to a place where they're out of that darkness and they're into the light. And Sergeant Meadows was gracious enough to actually put his story on the phone for us so that we can convey to the community what a gift the retreat is. We do want you to know that we're aware of what a gift it is, and that the staff and the board and everybody understands that we are just stewards of this amazing gift that the community has given us, and we do pledge to take as good a care of it as we can. So Peter and I are here to answer any questions that you might have.
Sure. Counsel?
How about a suggestion? You want to talk about the Monte Carlo night, because that would give everybody an opportunity to maybe participate, either sponsoring a warrior or participating and having some fun where you guys are raising a lot of funds to accommodate their needs.
3 February, right here at Piedmont Golf Course. It'll be Monte Carlo. You can go to our website, so it'll give you all other information, but it's a fun night. And we raise funds. All the funds go to support. So it's, as I said, the Piedmont Golf Course, hors d'oeuvres, and gambling, legal, gambling, charity, gambling. But we have other events. Really, what you can do for us tonight is just go to the SO webpage and tell your neighbor, and tell your other neighbor, and let them spread the word. If there's one thing you could do for us besides a check, that would be very helpful. Our website is getting better and better, and you'll find a lot of information. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yep, and we have an open house at the retreat February 4th. It's a Sunday, and it's from 1 to 3, and it ends promptly at 3. We lock up by 3:05, and we're out the door because that is Super Bowl Sunday. But we will be there for open house if you'd like to come up and tour the retreat.
Great. Super.
Before we leave, thank you very much for the time. We prolonged your meeting here, but we can't miss an opportunity to talk about and it really is right here in Haymarket. That's amazing. Yeah. It's really hidden, but it's a great thing that's got our own hometown in Haymarket. Absolutely.
Can I just make one more comment?
Sure. Go ahead,
You guys did such a great job. You should take this show on the road.
Yeah.
Not just in the Haymarket, but to all the other communities in Northern Virginia as much as possible. I think it would be well received.
I just have a quick question for Larry. Of all the service chefs that come out, which of the services are the best cooks? Choose your answer carefully.
Well,
They're all good.
after the check, we'll answer that.
To be honest with you, the chairman's chef is actually a Coast Guard member. The largest percentage of military chefs we have are Navy chefs. But they're all good. They're all good.
Truth and advertising, I retired from the Army. But I won't give you my comments.
Well, that's great. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. Absolutely. All right. Anyone else for citizens' time? If not, we're going to move on. Our next item is a public hearing that the applicant has withdrawn, so we're going to skip over that. And instead of doing department reports, I think if the council will agree, we're going to move up the agenda items in front of the department reports. So the first item was the SUP that was withdrawn, and then we move on to our recognition of our Christmas and holiday celebration participants and volunteers. And that's where we'll have Battlefield High School. We wanted to note
You just want
their
me to read
names.
their names?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We would like to thank the Key Club member volunteers and others from Battlefield High School. The students that helped us greatly at the holiday event were Lisa Mashiro, Penelope Blesh, Sola Kameen, Nikki Hogshinas, Cinta Heidiet, Haley Kozlowski, Megan Sheehan, Noah McMurr, Jasmine Brown, and Malia Fuller. So we would like to thank all of them. And if they're listening and they didn't get their volunteer hours signed, they can stop by Town Hall and anybody can do it for them.
Absolutely. That's great.
And then we're going to move on to the Deck to the Doors contest.
Yes. So this was our first year, a very exciting event as we brought the town involved into our Deck the Doors idea, which obviously this isn't a new idea. It's done at other towns and localities. But for us, I think it was very exciting to rally the businesses and really make some competition going on there. And did we have competition? It was really neat to watch these things evolve. We're really excited this being our first year for it, and we want to recognize the winners of these. So
first of all, the committee, the staff, and town residents that helped with the event, we decided to do 3 categories. We have most creative, most traditional, and most festive. So we did a walking tour, and we viewed all the doors. We did them in daytime, we did them at nighttime, so we could see. A lot of them had their own illumination in them. It was great. So,
do we want to maybe, as a council, go up here to present out outside the guys, sort of what we've done in the past? Okay, great.
okay, so first off, we're going to do the most creative, and the winner of that award is Exit Realty. Just so everybody knows, when we were touring, Brian was like, wait, the lights aren't on yet.
And it all had fallen over in the wind.
The wind took it down. So are you planning for next year already?
Oh, yeah. We're not going to use cardboard this time.
And our next award winner is for most traditional, and that was Signature. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then, last but not least, for the most festive is Cupcake Heaven. Yay! Thank you. We would like to thank all the participants. There were some really great ideas out there, and spread the word, and we'll see what next year brings. Yes, more competition. Right. Thank you.
Right. All right, so now we're going to switch over to our department reports, and we'll start out with Ms. Lockhart with our town planner.
Good evening. So I'll start with the Architectural Review Board. We actually met last night, so I'll kind of give you an update from last night. We had a demolition application come before us. We've tabled that so that we can look into it further and really make a good call on that. We have set up a time to tour the home on Saturday at 1:30, so some of the board members will be there for that. And we're going to take a look at the inside and the property as well. I've been working on some zoning violation letters for various things. One of them was some trash over here on the Winterham property and some storm damage that still is yet to be fixed from the summer. So that's a work in progress. We've not had any activity for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Planning Commission projects, I'm still awaiting a submission from Wood Village for their parking lot behind the School of Rock building. That's kind of just waiting on the applicant there. And we had rezoning hearings at the Planning Commission meeting in the beginning of January for Dog Stay Out and 2 rezoning applications. Those will be coming up in February to the Town Council. And then the special use permit here, as we know tonight, it has been withdrawn from the applicant. They no longer were interested in that area. And then 1 Mile Review, the Home Depot is still planning to come in next to the other side of Walmart. So that came in for review, I believe the 3rd submission. And then we have the Woodbourne Preserve, which was combined. That is further down on Thoroughfare Road. You can enter from the 15 side. And then we've been working with Melodon Development Group on the Fairgrounds property. They were going to come tonight and give a presentation. The preliminary kind of drawing is in the packet for you guys to look at. They were not able to make it tonight, but they have told me they're hoping to submit something to staff next week or the beginning of the following week. So that is still a positive thing for us. And let's see, no further kind of discussion on the diner that was going to go in on James Madison. So,
Okay.
Any questions?
Questions?
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
As far as the Woodbourne Preserve goes, do we have any conceptual drawings yet that they've shared with us?
We just have the site plans that I can show you. I have them in the office. I know one concern that was actually brought up by a resident was how the school bus routes are going to be affected. I know they currently go through town and take Fayette Street, and so she raised that concern that with 110 plus houses coming in, how are the school bus routes going to be affected and how is Fayette Street going to be affected? So that was one resident concern.
Okay.
I can show you the plan.
So did you say before it's only access through Route 15?
So it looks like on the plans what they're going to do is if you go down Old Carolina,
Right.
you go pretty far down, there will be an access point that you can turn right and they will extend Thoroughfare Road, and then you can access, the main access will be in from Route 15 where you turn left.
Okay, so that's between Carolina and 15?
Correct.
That's where, oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, it's between
All right,
Carolina
great.
and 15, and it
Thank you.
touches further over on the 15 side.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure about that. Thank you. One other question. So I see Melodon's not going to be here tonight. It's an interesting project, at least it looks like it. I think we were talking about meeting with a developer. Did staff meet? Do we have any reports on that meeting, any notes or something that we could share?
Are you going to cover that in yours, or? Staff did meet with Melodon back in December before the holidays. Katie, the engineer, myself, and Jerry all met with them. They were discussing mainly, if you look at the very back page of the packet, you'll see, they discussed kind of this sketch out that they had. It is very similar to the previous application that was put forward. They still want to continue with the 79 townhomes in the back right upper corner that would touch Sherwood Forest and backs Route 66. They would like to, they're considering, depending on the market, a hotel or assisted living home right there to the left of the townhomes, and then a daycare center in that back corner. They think that that might be good exposure and a quick access route for our residents to use and other commuters. And then further up front, There's still discussion of an interparcel connection between the back of Chick-fil-A as well as the front on this left side, and then several retail pads along with 3 drive-throughs and the gas station up front. They are expecting a 16-pump gas station. So mainly they're still keeping with a lot of the same ideas, the townhomes definitely, so that was about where we ended. They discussed a little bit the design of it, but there were no firm decisions.
It was just more conceptual
Mm-hmm.
discussion?
Yeah.
Right. So are we going to see them next month or in a couple months? Are they going to come back?
That I am not sure if I'll know better next week when I talk more with them and if they submit some materials for us to review.
Okay, then I'll hold off on any questions I may have.
Okay.
All right.
I can give you an update next week when I hear from them.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm set, Mr. Mayor.
Further questions?
Mayor, thank you. Ms. Emily, anything from Van Meter and John Marshall Commons?
No, nothing back from them.
Over on this side? No? All right. All right. Any further comments? All right. Thank you, Miss Emily. Our next is our town engineers report. It's in our packet there. If there's no questions, we'll just skip through that or refer them to our business manager to follow up. All right, seeing none, we'll move over to our building officials report. Yeah, I think we're going to actually maybe speak about that a little bit later, but yeah.
I have a couple of questions about that. So,
Yeah, we do have, definitely, we'll do that maybe when we do into Jerry's report, absolutely. See if there's no questions regarding the building officials report, we'll move on to our police department's report. Chief Lance, good evening, sir. Yep.
Good evening. How are you? I got yelled at last time for starting to talk too early by Mr. Connor. How you doing? Does anybody have any questions on the statistics for the month? Okay, I got a couple things. We got a lot to go over with you tonight, but I'll try to go fast. Councilman Cole told me I had to go very fast because he needed to be home. First, I want to go over some of the things you got in your packet. The updated MDC stats that we gave you. We updated them to percentages instead of numbers, so it's a little easier. And we're tracking them now. I plan on, well, let me get a little direction from you. Would you like these stats monthly from now on? Do you want them quarterly or just when you're ready to go into negotiations?
Let's see if we can pull the council.
Okay.
Ms. Edwards?
Add them in monthly.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Councilman Leak?
Monthly's fine.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I think it's easier to keep track of things if you do it more regularly. So
Sure.
monthly would be good.
Okay.
Councilman Chin?
That's fine.
Okay.
Great. I think,
right.
yeah, and it was Councilman Morris that's not here with us, probably only via the internet, that asked for the percentages, right? I think he was the one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's a little, it reads a little easier too when you do percentages, so.
Right, okay.
Good suggestion. All right, and then I also sent in your packets the MOU that we signed. Now, this is a thing we do every year. This is years and years and years old. This is just a mutual aid agreement with the agencies in Northern Virginia stating that if they need our help or we need their help, that we're covering them. We're asking them to come. Not that we cover any of their expenses, just like they won't cover ours. Our workman's comp and insurance and all that would cover us if we go into their area, and vice versa. So this is something that we do every year. I just wanted to give you a copy of it. Councilman Passanello specifically asked for copies of any agreements that we did outside of the town and us, so that included that in your packet. Okay. Any questions on that? Those two things? All right, I do have the speed sign data quarterly that you asked for. Didn't get a chance to pull these until until after your packets went out.
Thank you.
shows a majority of the vehicles. We're doing anywhere between 21 and 39 at the Piedmont Tire sign, and 21 and 33 at the park sign. That doesn't mean that we don't have anybody going over that. Just when they hit those signs during this quarter, that's what they were doing. All right. Any questions on those? I think the signs are working well. And then the officers, of course, backing up the signs with enforcement is slowing traffic down. Okay. The fourth thing I have is the vehicle recalls on all of the new Explorers with the carbon monoxide problems have been fixed. Every vehicle has now gone to Sheehy for an upfit. Lonnie Milstead took all the cars down there. He's our fleet manager now, and has been relaying all the cars and making sure all of them are back in order. And they made lots of changes to it, so we're hoping that that'll solve the problems and we won't have any issues. We'll still leave the detectors in there just in case, the proactive measure that we took, but they're all up and running. And then I want to give you an update on the MDCs. Since the bill was taken care of, then there were four things specifically that we were not getting on our MDCs that everybody else did, the computers in the cars. And so since we're, had a little bit of leverage now, we asked the county to come down and fix everything that we needed. That was a virtual partner, which reads things off to the officers aloud in case they're busy doing something else. It'll alert them that there's somebody's wanted or their status, their driving status. That's now on all the computers. GPS was working sporadic here and there on some of them. Now they're working on all of them where they can be tracked where they're at all times. And if they call for help, the dispatch knows where they're at. Also, that then activated the map to call feature, which means if they get a call for service, they just hit one button, it'll show them exactly where they need to go instead of punching it into your phone or Google Maps. And then it now shows fire calls on the computer. So Sergeant Shaver's been working hard on that, getting all the appropriate personnel here in the office with the computers, getting everything up to date. I think we're pretty much there now on that.
That's great.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right. So this is the beginning of a year, end of 2017. I wanted to give you an update for kind of a year in review of what we did for 2017. When you hired me, you gave me a specific set of rules and standards you wanted me to do, and I want you to know I took that to heart, community policing being one of them. I told you that was something I was going to work hard on. So I broke down our objectives this past year into 4, which was improving our professional image, increasing our community commitment, enforcing the law, and increasing our personnel standards and what we did, what each officer did. So I'd like to break that down for you. With the improving our professional image, we rebranded with a hashtag commitment to community. Then that took off on everything we do. We put that on there, and that's not just a hashtag. It's something that we believe in. We increased the visual presence of the officers in the town and at events. We standardized and simplified department uniforms and went away from the more military look. We assigned or aligned the police department patch with the uniform and the town image. We enhanced the police graphics on the vehicles, meaning we put them on all of them instead of different ones on some and not having them on others. So now we have a presence. It's a police car. It's a Haymarket police car. We upgraded the vehicle fleet, which has been great. We've reduced maintenance costs, and it's a very good image for the town. We made the lobby more community-friendly with the buzzer where they can talk to us directly, or a phone they can pick up and talk right to a Prince William Dispatch Center. Put seats in there, and the doors are open now. It's more community-friendly. And we remodeled the PD for a better flow, added some conference space where we can have meetings. We've used that a lot for community things, not just for the officers. So that's worked great. The second thing was an increase of community commitment. We started that off with myself, with servant leadership. I needed to show the guys what I expected them to do, so I did it as well. I improved the presence of the chief in the community and role modeled the officers and enforced the department and my expectation of community policing. We instituted business checks where we implement the implementation of a consistent and documented daily business check with intentional discussions with business owners and their staff. We hosted community events with quarterly self-defense classes when we did all the donations to benefit the Carried to Full Term, which is residents in our town that benefited our community. We did an annual car show with all the donations going to the Fallen Officers Fund, an annual breast cancer walk where donations went to the Novant Health Foundation and cancer patients. We did multiple child bicycle safety rodeos, and we threw our annual National Night Out festivities, which went really good. But not only did we throw our events, but we also participated in other community events thrown by the town and places outside the town. And that was, we participated in the Prince William Safety Fair, the high school, the Battlefield High School Science and Technology Fair, Haymarket Earth Day, Haymarket Health and Fitness Day, the annual end-of-school water balloon fight in Long Street Commons, Haymarket Day, and we had every single officer out here for Halloween, and we were all in all the neighborhoods, and we participated in the Haymarket Christmas holiday celebration. So very busy on the community side, whether it was our events or other events. That's what we wanted to do, and I really feel like we accomplished that. The third out of the four was enforcement. We had 25 felony arrests for the year, 205 misdemeanor arrests. Now, I want you to know that those numbers, they may seem small, but they're huge for a small town, and that doesn't mean that crime has spiked in the town of Haymarket. What that means is our officers are more proactive. They feel appreciated. They know the council's behind them. They know their police chief is behind them. They like coming to work, and they've become a lot more proactive. So arrests have gone way up, but that doesn't mean the crime is up in the town. It just means the officers are a lot more proactive. 932 summonses for the year, 1,190 warnings. So you can see that we actually warned more people than we summoned. 39 accidents in town. In-town calls, 7,863 calls. Out-of-town calls, 457, and 6,567 business checks on the enforcement side. So the guys have been busy, really busy. The fourth thing I wanted to work on was personnel. And on my side, I needed to work on developing a team. We had a good group of guys who just needed to get them to gel as a team and come together. Develop business checks for the communities, and I developed a community policing mentality in the officers. So that was me, and I'd like to recognize each officer. I want to start with Sergeant Shaver. He had to adjust to a brand new position. Now, he was just made a sergeant when I got here and was given a different task of what he was supposed to do than what I told him I wanted him to do when I got here. So not only did he adjust to being a new supervisor and to what he was told to do under the previous chief, but then he had to readjust to what I wanted him to do, and he did it well. He helped me learn the Haymarket way and the things that were going on in the town, and he transitioned into a supervisory role with the team, which was new to him. He went from a peer to a supervisor, and that's hard to do. It's hard for the officers. It's hard for the officer that's promoted. And he transitioned into a supervisory role as well with staff, council, and citizens. So there was a lot on him this year that he needed to do and change. He assisted me with the patches, the badges, the vehicles, and the graphics, all of that remodeling that we did. The vehicles were mostly him. I mean, I just let him run with that, and he designed a very, very good package for the officers. And he was also the officer in charge of Haymarket Day. It was my first one. Although I was involved, I let him run the debriefing and just the overall day operations. And I just sat back and watched what was going on so that I could learn on it, and he did a great job. So that's Sergeant Shaver for the year. I really appreciate his help, and he's really stepped up as an officer, in my opinion. The next one is Officer O'Neill. Stand up. Officer O'Neill had a whole different thing that he wanted to do in the department, but I knew that there was something that he was good at, and I told him that this year I wanted him to be the public relations officer for the department, and I knew that he could run with it, and I just cut him loose, and he did great. I mean, he put on the police department car show. It was from 40 cars is what we expected. We ended up with like 140 cars, and Councilman Cole's car, but and it was phenomenal. It was a huge success, and we were able to donate over $2,000 to the Fallen Officers Fund. National Night Out. He put together National Night Out, which we discussed before. We were told that it was one of the most successful National Night Outs in Prince William County, and of course we know it was one of the most successful night outs in the town of Haymarket. Just if you were there, you could tell how well attended it was and how the kids loved it.
It also changed their direction. We're usually the last stop, but because of being the most well attended, they actually might start in Haymarket, which is
there you go.
pretty neat.
There you go.
Yep.
And he put together the breast cancer walk, and I think it was a really fun time. It was not as well attended as what we had hoped for, but next year we're being told that it's going to be huge. Now, again, it was an awesome day. We had survivors here. We had a lot of walkers. It was a great time, and Corey put all of that together. He's a bike officer. He participates in all the bike rodeos we have, and each year I hand out 2 awards for the department, one of which is the Chief's Award, which I hand out to an officer who I think has gone above and beyond not just his regular duties, but has done something special for the town during the year. And we had our award ceremony this past Saturday. I'd like to let you know that Corey O'Neill is the 2017 Chiefs Award winner. So that's cool. Jake Davis. I think this year we utilized Jake a lot with the women's self-defense classes. He's a funny guy, so is he doing some stuff back there? Yeah. He put on a women's self-defense class and organized it 3 times, Jake? Sure. I think it was 3 times this year. We had overwhelming response on this. I mean, the first class we did filled up in an hour of 60 participants in an hour on Facebook. And each time it was a great event. The ladies had a great time. Jake is a fantastic instructor. He grabs your attention and he keeps it throughout the entire class. All the officers were there to help out. Everybody you see back there helped out. But Jake headed this up and was a great asset to the department. You talk about community, they loved this. And it was real it was real touching to see how Jake connected with people. And it really came out. He's a good instructor. Jake is also one of our bike officers and also participated in the bike rodeos. He's also our training officer. Officer Gregory was trained by Jake. And of the arrests that I told you about this year, Jake made the most arrests of the department. Not only that, Jake made more arrests this year than he has made in the last 5 years combined that he's been with the police department. And I can tell you again, it's because he was motivated. He's motivated because he feels appreciated by the council, by the town, and by the chief. I just want to.
You did a good job.
I also give out an Officer of the Year award as my second award, and Jake won the 2017 Officer of the Year award.
He's blushing.
I'd like to recognize Officer Anderson. Anderson's been with the town for 11 years. Most of that has been in a part-time or auxiliary status. He started auxiliary, then he moved to part-time. This year, we were down, for multiple months, we were down 2 officers for personnel changes, and I asked Randy if he would step up into a full-time role, which he did as a part-time, but doing full-time hours, and then I asked him to, we'd love to have you as a full-time officer if you'd like to step into that role, and he did. He has really stepped up for us this year. He's always been there when I needed him. From what I understand, he's been here. He's always been there when we needed him for the last 11 years. I mean, I never called him when he didn't say, yes, sir, Chief, whatever you need, I'm getting dressed right now. So I really appreciate him on there. He has stepped up, and he's grown as an officer. Being a part-time officer, going to a full-time, everything is magnified, and he's stepped up really well. So I'd like to thank him for that. Good job, Randy. Officer Gregory. So Officer Gregory is our newest officer. He comes to us with 10 years worth of experience. We got him certified or recertified, I guess, in firearms training. So he is one of our firearms instructors along with Jake. So he'll be able to help us out now with that. He fit in well with the team, and he hit the ground running. He just got here, so I don't have a lot of stats on him, but I can tell you that he made an arrest his first solo shift out within the first couple hours, and he's been doing great, and we don't have to worry when he's on the street. It's well secured. So good job, John. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize Lonnie. Lonnie stepped up this year. He was kind of hanging around the police department for a while, and we know Jeff had a lot on him, and I put a lot on Jeff. Both of us took over all the duties that other employees were doing before we made a change, and between Jeff and I, the vehicles were kind of becoming overwhelming with everything that needed to be done. I talked to Lonnie and asked if he wanted to step into that role, and he was more than happy to do it. He maintains our fleet. He makes sure all the oil changes are done, the tire rotations, all the vehicle recalls, and he does it all for free. And just because he loves this town and he likes the officers here, he really loves Jake. He rides with Jake a lot. But he's done a really good job. He volunteered his time on Haymarket Day for 13 hours. He directed traffic for free, and so he's been a really good addition to the team, and we're glad to have him. I've got a little video where I wrapped up like a little video montage of 2017. I want you guys to see it. We did a lot this year, so it couldn't fill just one song, so it is 2 songs. I'll let it fall you to sleep.
Yeah, the chief asked me if he should edit this, and I told him absolutely not. I said, play both of them, and
we were made to be courageous. We were made to lead the way. We could be the generation that finally breaks the chains. We were made to be courageous. We were made to be courageous. We were warriors on the front lines, standing unafraid. But now we're watchers on the sidelines while our families slip away. Where are you, men of courage? You were made for so much more. Let the pounding of our hearts cry. We will serve the Lord. We were made to be courageous, and we're taking back the fight. We were made to be courageous, and it starts with us tonight. The only way we'll ever stand is on our knees, we're lifting hands. Make us courageous. Lord, make us courageous. This is our resolution, our answer to the call. We will love our wives and children. We refuse to let them fall. We will reignite the passion that we bury deep inside. does find, I will take my stand in the battle of the heart and the battle of the hand. In the war of the mind, I will take my stand in the battle of the heart and the battle of the hand. We will make it be courageous, and we'll take back the fight. We will make it be courageous, and it starts with us tonight. The only way we'll ever stand is on our knees when lifted and make us courageous. Lord, make us courageous. We will make it be courageous. Lord, make us courageous.
Probably won't be in the papers. It won't be talked about in the morning news. And you and heaven might be the only ones who ever know all the good you do. You've never done it for the glory. You're not looking for fame. You and I both know it's never gonna make you wealthy, but you give just the same. And at the end of the day, I can't help but wonder if you know you're a hero, quietly changing one life at a time. And you may never know what a difference you've made in mine. I hope someday you'll see you're a hero to me. You give everything that you have, then you keep on giving. And you always know what to say. You know when to make us laugh and when to let us cry. And your faith gives us faith to the soul that is lost, to the weak and the weary. Your heart is a home. You're a hero, a friend to the lonely, a light in the dark. You may never know what a blessing you are. Maybe someday you'll see you're a hero to me.
So I think you could tell by that video that Corey and I take way too many selfies together. But I don't know what you guys saw when you watched that, but I mean, I can say all the things that we've done, but when I put this together, it's hard for me. I get choked up when I see this. I'm so proud of these guys. Community involvement has just been through the roof this year. You saw smiling faces on the officers and children and adults, self-defense classes and bike rodeos, and it was amazing to me when I put that video together and all the pictures that just the amount of things that we have done this year and as a department on the community side. So really, really proud of the department. I'm really proud of this team. And that was our 2017. Next month I'll come at you with our goals for 2018 and let you know what we have in mind. But really proud of this team. I'd like to give my officers a hand, your officers a hand. Are there any questions?
I was just going to ask you, I know there's a commendation for one of your officers coming soon. Are you going to wait and do that next month?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Don't steal my next month's thunder.
I won't.
Sure.
None of what you saw would not exist without it.
Yep, that's right. Again, are there any questions?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, just a couple questions. I wear this with pride. Being law enforcement in the past, too. Yes, I was Army, I did other things, but I was also federal. And I'm proud of this. A lot of things make our little town here great. A lot of things. Not only this team here, but this team here, and this team, and our great citizens. You and your officers make us proud. I think I'm speaking for everybody there, but one of your pictures up there brought up, because out of your list of accomplishments, you forgot something that's very important, needs to be in 2018. The Sherwood Forest block party that we hosted down there, I believe it was Jake, and I believe did Corey come down too? Y'all were a big hit. I mean a big hit, and I saw one of the pictures there. Jake was my next door neighbor. They're from India, and they hounded me to get Mr. Jake back down there, Officer Jake, so he could have some Indian food because he had never had it, I guess. But y'all were a big hit. Those are the type of things with everything you do that police officers do, and then you do all the other stuff, the community service. I will just say, from this old Texan and less than 2 years in this Haymarket, you make me proud, and I'm proud to be associated with you all. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. United States of Texas. United States of Texas is where I'm from. Thank you.
Any other? Vice Mayor?
I actually, attitude. I see great attitude, and that reflects leadership. And that's all I have to say. You know, we've had our arguments. We'll continue to have our arguments, disagreements, discussions. Well, I use that as a debate term, but I think that's important to recognize. Attitude is a reflection of leadership, and so I think that says it all.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, thank you. I think, Joe, I think you hit it right on the head there where you were saying that it has to do with the leadership and the trickle down. They always say under a great employee is always a great boss, and someone who doesn't just tell you what to do, but someone who will walk beside you and show you exactly what to do along the way, stride and stride. And Chiefs, it's been a little over a year since you've joined us, and the change in this department is outstanding. It's at a loss of words for how to actually describe it, but that video there, I don't even think it does justice to the difference that we've seen within this town over the past years. And not to get your head too big, but I know it's mainly to these gentlemen that are standing behind you. Outside of your great leadership, O'Neill, your your community involvement, buddy, it's just outstanding. I mean, I was there for that car show, and I know we were all sitting there hoping that we'd have cars show up, and they just kept coming in and coming in and coming in, and seeing that grin on O'Neill's face going from ear to ear. And then the three of us got up on the roof, and we all looked at each other, and it was just like, wow. And you took that, and you just kept going with each event and over and over. And so you did great in that, but the thing that sucks is you're going to have to beat it this year, so good luck. But your dedication to this department is just, it's amazing. Jacob, buddy, you see Jacob on the street, and he just makes you smile. I don't know what it is, but that gentleman, I mean, you saw the first defense class picture there at QBE, and then you saw the second one that I believe we had at Next Level, and the difference in class size was outstanding. Why? Because the word got out to the community. We didn't just have folks within the actual town of Haymarket. We had folks coming from Piedmont, Valley. We had from Haymarket, Gainesville, Bristow. Everybody was wanting to come, and as soon as we put that out on Eventbrite like that, it was sold out. And that is because of your teaching, and that doesn't just come from everywhere else. And we can't thank you enough for the dedication that you put into the community, especially the ladies in the self-defense. It's absolutely phenomenal. Mr. Anderson, as Chief was stating earlier, he could pick up that phone, call you, and you would be there in a matter of minutes. And that's something that I don't think anybody on this dais really saw until you became that full-time officer, and it was brought to our attention. But you were sitting there in the back, never complained about anything, never asked for acknowledgement of everything that you did. But we cannot thank you enough from behind this dais for everything that you've given to this town over the past years, and I think I can speak for everyone on this dais of how thankful we are that you are on our team full-time now and part of this department. Officer Gregory, don't know much about you, buddy. I know you're new, but I can't wait to see the future's gonna bring. I can't thank you for saving my life during that gas blow up over there, the gas bank. We're all standing around on the police side door, and the mayor's in the truck. Me and Officer Jake Davis and Officer Gregory is standing there, and we're all watching this backhoe dig in. And next thing you know, it hits this thing, and this big puff comes up. And we're like, what is that? That's steam? That's crazy. What's that steam coming from? We're all sitting there. And Officer Gregory starts sniffing. He goes, guys, that's gas. Move back. By that time, I couldn't get to the truck. My dad was gone. Pretty sure those tires were squealing. It was like, all right, I'll get behind the building. That's okay. But Officer Gregory, we can't wait to see what the future holds for you, sir. Sergeant, I know Sergeant's not here this evening. I just sent him a text, and he replied back to me, but I know he's getting over the flu, he stated. But like you had said, Chief, he was being pulled in one direction, and when you came on, you kind of turned him around, put him in another direction. Wow, has he prospered. That gentleman, he now gives me the gas card if I need to go fill it. No, I'm just kidding. That's an inside joke. That was really fun. But he's such a great guy, and to be able to see him laugh, get out there in the community is absolutely phenomenal. And last but not least, Chief, it all comes down to you, brother. We greatly appreciate what you've done to this community and putting it community first. Those photos, like I said, they don't speak an ounce to what the community actually feels. And the response we're getting from Facebook, from all their social medias, having folks actually come in and speak proudly of our town and the police department is just absolutely phenomenal. And thank you for all that you've done. No further.
All right. Any other councilman?
I'll just real quick, on top of what everyone else said, I come from a law enforcement family, and people used to call our house all the time and complain about the police department. And I will say, I haven't had that since you came. And that means a lot.
Yep. Absolutely. Councilman Cole.
I'm not going to cry. One of the high points of my day is I come home because I can't have a cell phone at work, and I check your daily report, and I look forward to it because what it tells me is not only are you reaching out, all the number of times you've helped someone, that you've going through proper procedures. You give people a ride where they need to get to when they can't get there. You've helped them with flat tires. You keep them safe on 66 when something's happening. And then I read where you get the bad guys. And a big grin comes over my face.
Yeah.
Because not only do you help, but you're protecting. And so that's what we ask for. That's the most we can expect. And you go above and beyond. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize.
Sure.
Lonnie, I apologize, buddy. I wrote it down in my notes, and I skipped over it. I'm going to blame it on that lazy guy again, because I don't know why I didn't see it. But, buddy, you're the man behind the curtain. I don't know if anybody's driven by, but there's been times I've driven down Main Street, and Lonnie's sitting there brushing gravel out of the parking lot with a push broom. That's the heart and dedication that this gentleman has. And as Chief says, he never asked for a penny. And when Chief told me that he was standing post on Haymarket Day, that, sir, just thank you. Thank you for your time and dedication and not expecting to have anything. You just do it for the love of the town. And, sir, thank you for that.
I did feed him one night.
Yeah, and cake. I was just saying, and cake. Lonnie steals all of the cake that we're given by citizens.
Yeah.
He steals every bit of cake we have.
Thank you, Mayor.
Wow. I think everybody has summed it up. There's not one thing I could add. Just maybe about Mr. Anderson. He always, I see Randy as sort of like the Andy Griffin. He's very calm and very, slow to anger, but he does his job. But I want to just point that out, that I think I didn't hear.
He's the quiet ones that you got to watch.
Yeah, that's right.
Just saying.
Yeah. And of course, been here for almost 11 years, so that's good to hear. All right. Anything else, Chief?
That's it. We'd just like to thank you. As a department, we'd like to thank this council for all the support that you've given us. The things that we did this year, we couldn't have done with uniforms and vehicles and equipment and being able to be in the community if it wasn't for you guys and all the support that you give us. We appreciate it.
Yep. Well, thank you. All right.
There you go.
Yep.
Jerry has snacks, I think.
Yeah. Our next one to see is we don't have a report from Ms. Andrews that is still out on leave there, but we'll go over to the treasurer's report to see. We do have some good news that our treasurer's wife had a boy, Jasper, 7
pounds.
Well, yeah, I think 7 is his middle name, correct?
Oh, yes, but he weighed 7
Oh,
pounds.
yes, correct, yeah. 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 So the best to them is hopefully you're probably coming home from the hospital soon. Oh, good. So maybe Roberto's watching us from there. So there again, congratulations on that.
Busy.
That's right. So any questions for that? I would to his report. I would just direct him to Jerry. If not, we'll move directly over to our business manager's report. Mr. Shiro.
Made a note to myself, we're going to change the agenda. I'm not going to follow the chief. But just to echo everything that the council said, coming from an old police chief and former law enforcement officer, you guys, you're fortunate. You have a community, you have a chief, you have dedicated police officers that you have here. I've been really impressed. Great job, Chief. Great job. A lot of my report is, I haven't been before you guys since back at almost December, our last December meeting, I guess, December 4th. But so a lot of this stuff is somewhat dated, and I'm not going to go through the details. You have it before you. Just to hit a couple of highlights, we have finished we rearranged the offices, and some of you that are coming in looking for staff and wondering what we did with them. We've moved. Roberto's now over where the treasurer's office used to be. Emily is in where Denise was, and Shelley's back where the clerk was for many years, which was the town manager's office. And I'm out front here and taking all the flack as it comes through the door. and that's where Denise is going to be there next to me when she returns. So I think it's worked out well. The conference space in here that we changed out from the kitchen. Works out well. It's a good place for me to meet and speak to someone if I have to. It's a good place for the staff to meet with people if they have to. And so it's worked out. It's been very usable space, a lot more usable than we were doing with the kitchen there. So that's worked out well. Just to highlight a couple things, engineering, I guess two of the things we've been working with, some of the stormwater issues, and we did get a response out to one of the biggest complaints that we had, and I think we've addressed those issues. There are some other issues in a lot of these subdivisions here in town regarding stormwater and who's responsible for it. Katie and Emily have provided a lot of research, gone back through a lot of the plats and deeds of dedication, and found that, in fact, it is the HOAs that are responsible for these stormwater issues. And we've had the documentation to show the people that, and which is good because the town is not in a position financially or in terms of infrastructure in place to handle these things. So a lot of it does fall back on the HOAs, and some of the things, unfortunately, are very hard to correct because the infrastructure is just not there. And that's typical in older communities as they develop, and the infrastructure is not put in for stormwater to accommodate future growth, and the more runoff that you get from as the subdivisions are built out. The other big issues we've been having lately is street lights and who's responsible for that. And I have to tell you, I'm having a hard time figuring it out because the street lights along Washington Street here, apparently what I've heard from the contractor that we use a lot for some of the maintenance, that when those lights were put in, apparently some of the businesses were to pay for those and maintain them and also provide for the payment to the electricity to power them. Some of the businesses are wired. The street lights are wired to those places, and they do that. Some of the ones here in front of our offices, and we do, of course, we pay for that. And we actually pay for some of the lights in one of the subdivisions, which, Joe, I think one of yours, where you reside. I'm not sure how that came about. I mean, typically lights, particularly these ornamental type lighting, would be the responsibility of the HOA. The HOA has told us it's not their responsibility, and we've got a couple of lights out there that we're trying to get repaired for them. I think it's something we probably need to take a look at comprehensively and see if we can't get an understanding and exactly. Of course, Dominion Power takes care of the typical street lights on the utility poles. If there's a pole number, we call them and they'll come out and maintain those. But these globe lights that we have in other places in town have kind of fallen on us for maintenance, and along the street, and also, like I said, in some of the residential communities. So we hope we can get that. Completed. Some of the facility and rental properties, we had some serious water freezing and some freezing issues over the holidays. The museum being the most prominent. Apparently, the heat went out in the museum building sometime over the New Year weekend, and the pipes froze up, including the sprinkler system, which I didn't even realize there was a sprinkler system in the building, but there is, and I hope it's still there. We're in the process of Monday. We're going to repair the visible leaks that we see and conduct some pressure tests to see if there are leaks throughout the system. If there are, then we'll have to make a decision on replacing the system, repairing it, or just leaving it out. I'm not sure why it's sprinkled. From what I can best determine, it wasn't required by code. So that's an expensive system not only to install, it's an expensive system to maintain because it's tied into alarms and what have you. So we'll be evaluating that next week to see what we have to do to repair it, and I'll bring it back certainly to the council for a decision on what you want to do with it. Good news is I've been in contact with our insurance carrier, and I think they're going to cover some of the damages, if at least some of them, if it turns out to be extensive. But that's that. Also, the food pantry building, or the one down at the park, The heat had not been turned on in that building, so the pipes froze in that. Went down, I turned the water off. That's actually serviced by a well, is that correct? Okay, and that's turned off. So I'm not prepared to heat in the building because there's nothing in there now and the water's off. So we thought we'd wait till spring to evaluate that and see what we need to do with it. I don't think there's any additional damage, and I really don't think the damage, most of the damage was back in the old kitchen part, and it looked like some of those lines had broken, but the bathroom line, I didn't see any indication of any leaking there, so it's turned off, so maybe we didn't get too much damage with the lines. Building permitting, I reported to you in December that we were holding our final meeting with the county and turning the services over to them this week, and we did. So far, we've not had any issues. We're young in the game yet, but the county staff has been great to work with. They've met with us. They met with us extensively. Put the whole staff at our disposal there, and they've been in communication with Emily and I on permits as they come in. They've been out here and checked some buildings, some residential houses that were completed they didn't have on the records. So at least 2 houses that we weren't getting tax revenues from, we will be now since they weren't on the record. And that was some of the problem with the private contractor that we were using. They weren't following through with the county and reporting these things. Now that the county's doing it, the county collects the information. They check it out with mapping and GIS, and it goes on the county's books, and therefore goes on our books when the house is complete, and also the true value of the renovations is included in the assessed value. So I think it's going to be a good program. I think it's going to be a better service for our residents. It's going to be at least a less expensive service for our residents, not only from the user fees or the permit fees that they have to pay to the county, but the problem was with the contractor. We had a contractor that was charging us over $60,000 a year to provide these services, and our permit fees didn't recoup that, and they couldn't. I mean, if our permit fees had to recoup that kind of money with a handful of permits that we issue every year, the fee would be astronomical to pass on to the resident. But on the other side of that, the general fund's making up that difference. So typically, permitting operations and inspections should be more of a proprietary fund, like a water and sewer fund, where it pays for itself. And with the kind of volume that we have here, it's just wasn't possible to do that using these private contractors. The county doesn't charge the town anything. The county only charges the permit applicant. And those fees are in often cases less than what we're charging them now. So I think it's going to be a good situation for us. And if there are somebody had some questions on that, I'd be happy to field those for you.
Just, I think you did just analysis just in the last year, and maybe you can let the council know, because you just found that out today,
I went back to the beginning of FY17, and we, of course, have spent well over $60,000 with the applicant and collected only about, I think, 24. We've had a net loss of about $25,000 so far, and that doesn't include some billing that I just gotten in from the service provider recently. So it's going to. I think the loss probably is going to be close to $30,000. So that's the kind of money that we're not recouping with the process that we had in place now.
And with the county, I know that some of the early concerns were just the location of our residents having to possibly go down to Prince William County, but those were mediated or eliminated. Or tell how you.
Some of the county has an excellent website. A lot of the forms and everything that you need are there, and some of the permits I think can actually be submitted electronically. So it's not necessary. In a lot of cases, it will be necessary to go down and present plans. Don't get me wrong, but in some cases, the county will. You can submit it electronically, and like I said, all the permits and all the information. They have a really good website that has all that information on it. That's very helpful. It's very user friendly and intuitive to see what you have to do. And we are going to, we're set up here so that
that if a resident comes in, we can show them the website, tell them what kind of permits or applications they're going to need when they get down there, if they need to go down there, and would make it more user-friendly on this end. They still have to come before us or to Emily submit for zoning approval, and then still go through the ARB. And of course, we're still doing our site plan reviews and all of that. The only thing that the county is doing for us is accepting applications for the actual building permits and reviewing those and performing the inspections.
Yeah, I think the only other one I had was a concern about the delay on actually having an inspector come do the inspection. And my understanding that if you call in before 3 of that day, that the following day you're scheduled for an inspection. Now if they do get exceptions to that,
that's their goal. I mean, they've got programs in place. They want to be they're very user-friendly to residential permits, the Harry homeowner type of improvements, the decks, the kinds of things that that the average homeowner would apply for, and they try to turn the inspections around really quickly. That's quicker than our inspectors would get out there, the ones that we had. And they also have some incentives for with commercial projects, larger commercial projects, when they come on board, that to assist the developer with some of the costs and defray some of the costs of inspections and permitting in that regard, which is economic development incentives on their part, but works out well for us as well.
I think they refer to it as there's an expedited process that they could do. They could go fast tracks it right through there.
If the project at the Fairgrounds property comes to fruition, and we hope that it does, that would be something that would be attractive to the developer. And most of the people that have work done, it's a contractor doing the work, and the contractor is more familiar with the county process than they are with us. A lot of the contractors come in here and we're accustomed to working with the county. They don't do it that way, and they know how the county, what the county expects, and so they're geared to that. And I think from the contractor's standpoint, and certainly from the development community's standpoint, I think they're going to see better results than we could give them. Now, the company that we were using still is doing our ENS, our erosion and sedimentation control, because it's something the county won't do. But also looking at Katie's firm to get some numbers from them as well, what they would charge us. A lot of that, we don't do a lot of that unless it would be a larger project, and our new construction with single-family homes, and the ENS inspections and review are not as lengthy and as time-consuming as the actual building permit reviews.
And one last thing, and I'm going to turn it over to the council, but that there's even also, if you say there was a project that if you brought everyone in with the engineers on site, that they could actually review it on site and literally turn around and hand you permits that same meeting. So it's like like having all the powers to be in one table.
They do.
They look at it, all the engineers and stamps are on it and the signatures on it. It's almost like a real expedite.
I've been really impressed with them. I mean, the larger counties, and I've worked in Loudoun, and I've worked in Montgomery County, Maryland, and some of the other larger counties. When you're a smaller municipality, you kind of, you get swallowed up and everything. But I'm impressed with the team that they put together for us. They put together the top, the division directors, the actual field inspectors, and they sat at the table with us and went through all of this. And the one gentleman down there that's been filtering some of this, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, Chad Root. He's like a deputy director or something down there, I believe, and he's personally handled. We had we had like 4 or 5 permits that were open, and transitioning that to the county. We tried to close out as many as we could before we turned it over on the 15th, but there were a couple that weren't. And he's personally met with people and gone over what they need to do. And we had an agreement if they'd already paid us, then the county didn't charge them anything, so they didn't get double charged on anything. So far, they've been great to work with.
Good to hear. So let's hear from the council. I guess we'll start from the right.
Yeah, I can speak with firsthand experience there, because it took me the year to get my final permit, and some balls were dropped, fell through the crack, but nobody here. But my contractor, I just spoke to him the other day about another issue, and he goes, great, because if he does more decks around here, he loves the idea that he can go directly there because he knows the folks and all. So that's working out great. And I have to thank Shelley and Emily and for finally getting my permit squared away and everything. But it's a good feeling knowing that I've got a $25,000 deck there and that I now have the final permit since I've been using it for a year.
That's the cost of the building, yes.
Yeah. So I applaud y'all. I think that was the right thing to do.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yes. So the net effect is better customer service, reduced cost, or no cost?
No cost to us from our budget directly. Matter of fact, a $60,000 savings to our budget.
Savings, right.
Of course, the applicant still pays the cost to the county, but the real savings is going to be that the taxpayer out of our general fund account, that $60,000 is what was what is that related in your budget last year in terms
Well, that was our tax increase.
That's probably your tax increase last year.
Just on one line item.
I mean, you'll save that, and we won't have to cover the permit charges out of the general fund.
So that's a good news story.
It should be, yeah.
So then, what type of an agreement do we have? I'm sure some people don't understand that this may be just Virginia statute, I believe.
It is. I asked about an agreement. They wanted an MOU or anything like that. They didn't want it. It was a letter from me to the county exec telling them that we request them to take over the permitting services for the town.
Right.
There's a state statute that requires them to do that. No questions about it.
Right.
And it didn't require any lengthy agreement.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So far, so good.
No, he's a good old boy from White Plains, New York. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, so there's no MOU. That's great. It's just devolves back to the county. We get savings. We get better customer service, expedited process. What are the controls? Are there any controls in the process? I mean, we have to make sure that our customers in town understand that they still have to go through the.
They will not accept an application.
That's my question.
Unless there's a
Okay.
letter from Emily stating that they.
Is there anything on the forms or that they have to fill out, that they have to check off? or
They
anything like that?
flag, they somehow flag the addresses when they come in.
Okay,
So
so
know
they
it's a-
do that.
They know it's a town, and if they see it's a town address.
Right.
And they apply, but there were some other things they were doing too, wasn't there?
So anytime someone goes to the building department at the county, they first go through addressing, and that's where they flag it for the town of Haymarket. They then check the address. We've had a couple of them come back already this week that it's not a valid address, so I've been working with them on that.
Okay.
And then I'm working with Chad Roop and 5 other people. We kind of formed a little team there. And anytime I issue any type of zoning permit, ARB, anything, I send them an electronic letter, but the applicant has to pick up a hard copy letter with my signature on it, on our town seal paper and everything, and they have to present that when they go to the county. And unless
Excellent.
they have that, they won't accept it.
Excellent. Yeah, I was kind of concerned that things might fall through.
Yeah, and I think I told you before, if it's going to fall through, that's where it falls through. I mean, in other areas I've been in where the county's doing it for the town, you have someone on the front desk that doesn't follow the procedure, and the next thing you know, the application is accepted and a permit's issued when it hasn't cleared zoning. It seems like they have a lot of safeguards in place to prevent that, and I think from our end too.
Great. So then the other one would be communication and outreach to the citizens of the town. I saw the website. I think you might have put it on Facebook. I'm not sure. I don't Facebook, but.
We sent a postcard.
You mail it? Yeah, I
with
just
the-
got
with the
back,
county,
so.
With the website on it.
Haven't gone through all my mail yet, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we sent out.
All right, did we also contact the HOAs? Let them know?
No, we have not done that yet.
The postcards went to the HOA.
Yes,
did they?
I addressed the postcards.
Yes, the postcards that go to the HOAs, we can do a follow-up email with them as well.
Yeah.
My HOA
haven't spoken
president was my next door neighbor, and she asked me about this, and I explained to her, and she was like, great, long as we still have controls in the town, so you still got to go through the ARB, got to get HOA approval, still got to go through the ARB, so.
Okay, good. Excellent, thank you.
Councilman Lee.
No, sir. Vice Mayor answered my question.
Okay. Councilman Edwards.
The only other thing that Jerry was talking about, the ENS, when we have residential, and also Emily and I, last night after the ARB meeting, discussed that we might have to search out for a structural engineer for when we have these demolition permits come in for inspections and things like that. So that's probably something that we're going to have
To look at.
Yeah, the county's not going to come out and review
Right.
it for an application. I mean, like a ARB, they're not going
Right.
to provide an opinion on the structure.
Right. So we have to.
But I think
Work on
we've
that.
got, we can procure those services,
Right.
or we can check, Katie's firm probably has structural engineers on board with them if we
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was all I.
Councilman Cole? I think that the more important thing, too, if this was going down the wrong road, we have options.
Yeah.
We can
We-
hire,
we- yeah,
we can hire someone and pull it back from the county at any time. So if there's any concerns or reasons that, sounds like at least you all have a good feeling that they know what they're doing down there. And
Frankly,
that,
I was concerned, Mayor, when I saw the lack of follow-through and the lack of records being kept by the inspectors. I'm very concerned. Although people don't like it, these building codes are in place for a reason. It's for the health and safety, welfare of the people, and make sure that when you hire a contractor, that they're doing it the way it should be done. And it's very important. Not only that, but it's also important that the county receive current information on your home and increased value to your home as a result of the work that you're doing on it, and that's not falling through the cracks. And someone to have a $25,000 deck and hadn't seen a final inspection on it in a year, I mean, those are things that are concerning, and ultimately come back on us as a liability if we're not following through with it, because even though the contractor may not be doing his job, we're hiring the contractor.
yeah, it just seems like there's a long history, and unfortunately, it sounds like this is a good correction. I mean, me personally, 18 years ago, we built a deck. We applied for the permit, but for some reason, as of last year, it didn't show it on the county record. So, quick correction, yeah, it just seems like.
And I think you're going to see a change in the assessments too. I mean, I think the assessments are going to be done more promptly. The county will have the information. Obviously, we get the books from the county in terms of the assessed value of the property. So the quicker they get it, the quicker the assessments go out to us, and we reap the benefit of that because we get higher assessed values on the property that take into account the improvements. So.
Right. Good. All right. Any further things?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, great. Well, we kind of really switched around here. I think we're down to updates from the Planning Commission.
We had a fairly quick meeting the other night. First, we had Doggy Day out, so they were very happy that they're moving forward with their groundbreaking and so on and so forth. The other issue, though, was the rezoning of the properties down here, and their Planning Commission's coming forward with a recommendation. I don't know if I'm to cover that recommendation now or not, but it's basically to rezone TC instead of B1. It was unanimous. That was pretty much it.
Okay.
For council's information,
Sure.
to follow, the applicants have amended the application to TC.
They were okay with it. They were here and there was a lot of discussion. That probably took up as much time as anything, a lot of discussion because of, there were a couple of people that showed up that were very vocal. A couple of regulars that showed up, and they were very vocal and everything, and we listened to everything, but we made it was unanimous on the vote. So that was pretty much it.
Okay. ARB, any updates? Sure.
I have one
Absolutely.
question. Is Dogs Day Out coming back before the council, or is that yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a recommendation from PC on that?
For doggy daycare, doggy day out, the only thing we were Is that's,
Zoning text amendment.
yeah. that-
It was for the zoning text amendment. They have requested a change in the definition for B1 with the ancillary apartment above on the second floor, and then to add doggy daycare. And Planning Commission voted to put it to Town Council with a recommendation for approval.
I just wanted it on the recording.
Yeah, that was important, yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Emily.
So, for the TC, Transitional Commercial, and they've adjusted their application. So are we going to publicly hear for TC? Is that going to be publicly heard by us? And that'll be posted, what, third? It has been advertised. And when is that meeting?
5th May?
February
5th February.
5th May?
It's not February. Hey, you did say May, I thought.
I thought it did.
We're going to have them before then.
Okay.
5 February?
Wow.
Okay. That's it.
ARB update?
Basically, Emily covered that in her report with the demolition permit and.
Which building was that?
If you go down Jefferson, right before the railroad tracks on the right, the little house that's boarded up.
That one.
Yes, okay. So we're doing a little tour. I take my flashlight on Saturday so I can
Maybe
see
a hard
it.
hat.
Maybe a hard hat, I don't know.
Scary in that building.
It's okay. I'm not afraid. It's going to be daylight.
I just have one word, snakes, okay?
Stop! I'll wear my boots, my steel-toed boots. And what else? I think School of Rock at Winterham is putting in a new door. They've had some damage and the stained glass, and they're having the door custom made to put in, so it's going to be really nice, and the bell's going to stay. So the old historic bell that rings, so that's really good, and a couple signs for businesses, and that was it. Just kind of calm.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Any questions for that? Seeing none, we'll go to council members' time. Skipping, of course, Councilman Morris, we'll go right directly to Councilman Cole. Anything?
Nothing to this time. Thank
All
you.
right. Councilwoman Edwards.
Real quick, I just want to thank Emily and Shelley and Jerry for all their hard work. They've really been very busy. I've been keeping up with Emily on some of this ARB stuff, and it's been a lot, and she's really doing a great job. They're keeping on top of it, and I really appreciate it. So I just want you to know that we appreciate you.
All right. Councilman Lee.
Yes, sir. Jerry, Chief's not the only great leader we have here. We also have you, sir. He's back. I didn't want him to hear that. Self-esteem back there, no. But Jerry, as we were talking about earlier, it's the trickle-down effect, and I know staff is ecstatic to have you back, being able to walk in and see smiles on the faces and everyone wanting to come to work and being able to be proficient while they're here. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for all that you do, and ladies, and Roberto. Thank you for everything that you all do as well. And Roberto, congratulations, buddy.
All right. Good. Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a prosperous and healthy New Year for everyone. Congratulations, absolutely, Roberto. That's Jasper? Was that
Jasper 7.
Jasper, very nice. I was wondering when we got the chief's email, if it was a boy or a girl. I didn't see anything about any details on that, so.
There's generic cats, too, the pink, blue.
That was pink and blue.
Yeah.
Just want to follow up on this Monte Carlo night thing, which is going to be Saturday the 3rd. I've had the pleasure of going the last couple of years, and it's a great opportunity to meet with a number of the participants that get to go to the residents and spend some real bonding family time, and I think it's a really great opportunity for any of us to go. I will be there, Kathy and I will be there and participating, and it's really wonderful to sponsor a couple. So if anybody has the opportunity or a thought to do that, I think it's really a nice way to give back. So that's that. Hopefully, we'll see you there. The other thing is, we have an election coming on May 2nd? First? May 1st. There it is, right there, general election. Anybody interested in running for office, and all offices are open, you have to file by Tuesday, March 6, 2018, by 7 p.m. So hopefully we'll get some folks out there. One of the things I never like to see is when people run unopposed. I think it would be good for the town to see other people get involved, and maybe we'll get some new faces here as well. So, Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a couple things. I want to echo, too, the comments about the staff here. As I said earlier, we're a team, all of us. And it's, I enjoy coming to these meetings. I enjoy seeing everybody's faces and all. But I'll tell you what made my night tonight was this young man right here, this Boy Scout leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm a patriot 100%. And so I love the fact that we do the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. And this tonight made my night, just to see this young man here. So thank you for making this old guy's night. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Well, I've got some good and exciting news to report. Actually, everybody's going to be looking. But as you know, we've been trying to work with Verizon and Fios. And I'm happy to report that email that basically says, Mayor, there's been some new developments in the strategic direction with Verizon. When can we possibly talk displaying Verizon Fios there in the town? So Mr. Bill King there, I spoke to him today, and we're coming up with some good ideas to finally make this work. So that's
not
probably
everywhere has Fios?
Nothing in the town. Yeah.
Do you have Fios?
Our subdivision, we got Fios.
What?
Sherwood Forest.
Fios Internet or Fios phone service?
Verizon Fios.
You have Internet?
Everything.
Get out of town. That's something. Yeah.
So I'm
Maybe we
special.
can use that to leverage. Because there should be a thing called a franchise agreement that. That was always the
we
sticking point.
transferred our Verizon Fios out here from where we were at in Centerville. It transferred lock, stock, and barrel.
So how that line goes down there? Yeah.
So you're welcome to come down and watch TV or play on the internet.
Yeah, if we could borrow some of your bandwidth there.
We've gone around the bend with these people for years.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
I will double check with my wife to make sure I haven't misspoken, but we just paid the Fios bill, so Verizon Fios.
Yeah, I thought that there was like one thing where they could provide the phone, but I thought internet was the sticking point. But
let me double check on that.
Yeah.
She's at choir practice right now, but
Right,
it's
that's right.
my understanding. I know we have Verizon Fios. I know that.
Right.
She's
The
at
fiber.
choir practice, like real choir practice?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You know what choir practice is, right?
Yeah. No, this is real choir. She sings.
Yeah.
She sings.
Is that Joseph Blumbaugh?
I know.
A couple other things. We attended the Tanvy meeting, me and Ms. Lockhart, which was really good today. The town of Herndon hosted it. They had a special emphasis on planning, so their planners and town managers were there, and they actually had a presentation of a venture, a joint venture that with the town, and turned out to be where the old, I think it was Stolman Oldsmobile or Subaru dealership, where they actually bought a parcel, the town did, for about $5 million that their investment into this thing was, and they're working out a joint partnership with Comstock that will develop it into a really cool parking and business center and an arts thing, about 4 acres. So, it's like almost, I think, probably maybe 8 or 10 years in the works of literally getting the zoning correct, and they just went through how a town or municipality could, take this on and actually do a joint venture, which is kind of exciting. And then the other thing, I attended the end of the year, which was a very humbling experience to see all the officers there. something that the chief put on, and we had this presentation as well that to see where you gave back to the officers, and I really commend you on that, Chief. And that's it for me. Any other further comments, closing? If not, we'll entertain that.
Motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Second.
Second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
There you go. Thank you all.